Good morning and welcome to October. It's a bit gloomy this morning where I am, but it's still really mild actually, which is great. So still warm enough to swim if you're a sea swimmer or a river swimmer, which I am from time to time, and warm enough to still wear cotton as opposed to wool. So celebrating that, and welcome to my Monday messages. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rebecca. I'm a homeopath, I'm a natural health advocate, and I'm a holistic life coach. And just share a little tip or a simple exercise, a thought process, or just something that will stimulate all of us to being able to choose things that enhance our health on a physical level, an emotional level, or a spiritual level, and enable us to live our best lives, whatever that means for each and every one of us. So if you're joining me live, then you are very, very welcome, and do give me a thumbs up or something similar to let me know that you're there. And if you're watching on the replay, it'd be great if you could just put in the hashtag replay for me. That would be very useful. Thank you. And do pop any comments or questions that you might have as I go along in the comment thread. So today I wanted to talk about some feedback that I had actually from an absolutely beautiful woman that I've just completed phase 1 of working with. She came to me wanting support during her journey through menopause, and she wanted help on a physical level mostly, but also emotional and a little bit of spiritual. But the thing for her was that her emotional state was completely tethered to her sense of her physical self and what was going on in her body. And we did, I think, 4 or 5 sessions together, and she was able to go off and feel that she was back on track and that she was in control and everything was stable and she could manage everything well. Better than she had been, in fact. And when I asked her to give me some feedback on what was the biggest single difference for her, straight away she said, do you know what, Rebecca, the biggest thing for me has been that for the first time in my life, I trust my physical body. I have faith in the processes that my physical body shows to me. And because of that, I feel way more confident, way more in control. Her anxiety levels are almost non-existent now, and they were being fed in the past by a belief that she had that if her body started showing her expressions of dis-ease, that meant that she was going to get really, really, really ill and possibly die. And those beliefs were set up way back in childhood for all sorts of different reasons. So basically, she would spiral into a series of panic attacks every time she even had a sniffle, nasal discharge, a sore throat, anything at all. And she's told me that this is no longer the case, that she now knows from what we learnt together, what we went through together, that most of the time, that if she just is patient, that she waits, that she observes, that she asks herself, what do I need? Why is my body showing me this or doing this at this particular moment? She found out that most of the time that those little expressions of dis-ease actually kept on moving and self-resolved. And most of the time she didn't need to do anything except maybe stop and rest a bit and not try and do everything still at the same pace. Huge discovery for her. And she also learnt how to reach for homeopathic remedies if that was not the case, if there was a sense of stuckness or that something was just not resolving. And she had, I think, 2 or 3 examples where she was able to go off and get a homeopathic remedy, and she responded like that to it. And everything got moving again, and the process finished and was resolved. So when she reminded me of that, because I get a bit, what's the word? I kind of take it for granted that everybody feels like that, but of course they don't. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. And it reminded me that over the years I've had lots of feedback like that actually that was one of the single biggest differences, that people who go through this process working with homeopathic remedies and with holistic life coaching methods and other things, that starting to trust their own physical selves and to listen and to act on it was one of the biggest single differences that they felt. And most importantly, what that gave them was a sense of empowerment, a sense of confidence, a sense of, I have it, I know there are tools, I can help myself before I have to panic and reach for professional help. And I'm not belittling professional help, whatever form that takes for you. Of course, we all need that from time to time, but it can make a really big difference if we are not made so anxious and so desperate to stop any expressions of physical dis-ease before they've even started, even. There's a big movement at the moment to take things just in case something might happen, which is, for me, utterly mad, because we live in a world at the moment where more and more of us are becoming aware that the planet we live on, this beautiful earth and everything in it, by and large does way better without any of our man-made interference. It flourishes and is abundant when we are not interfering with it. And that's exactly the same for our bodies. Our bodies are hardwired to work towards health. In whatever circumstances it's got, with whatever tools it's got, it will always make the best possible choice given the circumstances. So that depends on how we treat our bodies, what we decide to put into it and onto it. Those are the things that are either going to support us, our physical bodies, and all the processes that it needs to do. Same thing as the natural world around us. When we need to shed things, we need to do that. Might not be pretty often, but we need to do it. Otherwise, they're stuck inside us. When we are living in accord with the cycle of nature, and we slow down when we're meant to slow down, and we celebrate our abundance when we're meant to celebrate our abundance, when we have lots of light, we're meant, it gives us lots of energy and we're vital and we can be outside enjoying everything. And when there is less light, as it's happening now, we're meant to slow down and we're meant to just hunker in and prepare for the darker months and the months where, historically there may be less food, there's less light, there's less warmth. We need to conserve our energies. I think more and more of us are becoming more and more aware of that in our external world, but we're not necessarily doing it within our internal selves. And there's still an awful level of distrust in our own bodies and a disconnection from our physical bodies. Very many spiritual people I know, very spiritual, very beautiful people, beautiful souls, are still actually very fearful of physical dis-ease and all their expressions. So my message today, I could bang on about this for hours, so forgive me if I'm rambling, but I wanted to just ask you, what would it feel like if you had complete trust in your physical body, and that you understood that when things are coming out, or your physical body is expressing something, that there's good reason for that, and that if we only look hard enough and we listen hard enough, we will be able to respond to it and encourage that process to keep moving and to resolve and do what it's meant to do. Instead of going, oh my God, I've got to stop it because it's smelly or ugly, or, I have to stop doing what I do on a daily basis. So I need to take something that will stop that. Because ultimately, it's not serving us. It's not actually making us feel in control and abundant and able to grow and trusting and confident and all of those things that my client said that she now feels because she trusts her body. And it's also not only affecting how she feels about her own physical health, it's affecting how she understands and approaches her family's physical health as well. So there's been a whole level ripple effect, if you like, of her own mistrust in her body historically that has been removed from her life and the lives of everybody around her, and everybody is experiencing the benefits of that. So that's what I wanted to just plant in your soil today, a little seed that I hope that you can water and you can encourage to grow, and you can think, well, how could I actually work closer towards feeling in control of my physical health and trusting my physical body? What can I do to encourage and support that? And if you would like to have a chat about it, you're not quite sure what that means for you, then do click on the link below, which will lead you to a free clarity call with me. I offer a free call to anyone who wants one to just have a chat about how we might be able to work together to help you to make whatever changes you feel are going to benefit you in your health. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today. I can see there's several of you on. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, do pop them in. Or if you just want to tell me that you agree with me, or that you find it interesting, or that you don't agree with me, that you think I'm talking gibberish, then I'm open to that as well. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes because I know there's a delay. And if not, then thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next week on my next Monday messages. Take care.